Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, located in Washington, D.C. It was founded actually it's the first public high school for black students. And there was a time when Dunbar High School was one of the elite public schools in the country. The students there performed at a very high level, academic level. So high that there were skeptics who did not believe that these kids were, doing calculus and speaking Latin and that could perform at the same level and exceed many white schools. And it goes without saying, but most of these skeptics were liberals, progressives, Democrats. I am not here today to insult anyone. I'm not here to alienate black folks. But I am here to raise attention and awareness to the fact that the Democratic Party and its liberals and its progressives and its centrists and moderates, whatever label they put on themselves, have been running the inner city schools for the last 60 to 70 years, and they have run the schools into the ground. Dunbar High School is an example of one of those schools that they ran into the ground. You don't have to believe me. Go out and Google Dunbar High School. Read the history on it, see what happened for yourself. And there were many schools that were like Dunbar High School that performed at a very high level. There was a time when we taught our children that they have to work twice as hard because most likely in life they were only going to get half of what their white counterpart would receive. And our kids did that. They went to school and worked hard. For the ones who were fortunate enough to be able to go to school, some kids had to help support their families and didn't get that opportunity. But for the ones who did, many of them worked really hard to take advantage of that. The graduates from Dunbar High School reads like a who's who of black history. In fact, one of the teachers there was Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson, as we all know, was the second black person to get a PhD from Harvard. W.E.B. Du Bois was the first. Carter G. Woodson was the second. He taught at Dunbar High School for a while. This is the quality. I mean, many of the teachers had PhDs. Dunbar High School was royalty until Democrats took over. Not just Dunbar High School, but most of the schools in the inner cities. And their policies, their programs have run the schools into the ground. And the reason being is because Democrats don't like measuring success. They like to measure intention. So teachers, for instance, get merit pay, promotions, and pay raises for the number of students that they pass, not the quality of the education that they teach. So you have them take tests to measure what they've learned. It's not something the Democrats are interested in. The outcome doesn't matter. What matters is passing the kid to the next level so he can be with his peers. The fact that that child has not received a quality education, in fact, many black kids, in fact in the inner city, 50% of black males drop out of school. We're losing half our black males to dropouts. And for the black kids who do graduate on average, black students are graduating high school 3 grade levels behind their white counterparts. This is not their white counterparts, I'm sorry, the national average. This is an embarrassment. We have to fix our schools. We have to give our chance. Our kids a fighting chance at a good education. We can no longer play party politics with our children. I'm asking black people to do something courageous, do something brave and bold for your children. Take a leap. And that leap is to replace the Democrats who run your schools. school boards. And so let's start replacing them with Republicans, Tea Party members, conservatives, just to see what happens. If the schools improve under Republican rule, great. Our kids are better. If the schools don't improve, vote them out. You haven't lost anything. The schools are terrible now. But you owe it to your children to take a chance. We need this to happen. We cannot continue to fall behind education with our kids and somehow expect to catch up. It's just not going to happen. This is my 2-cent opinion, and I'm asking black people to do the right thing in 2016. Stop giving your vote to the Democratic Party. Stop voting blindly for a party that doesn't support you, and certainly doesn't support your children. And I have people who argue against me, and all I can say is look at the history. Look at what Democrats, Obama, when he was elected, the very first thing he did was to kill a voucher program in D.C., a voucher program that allowed inner city kids, smart inner city kids, to get out of those terrible public schools that they were attending and go to a private school and get a good education. The teachers union opposes vouchers. Democrats oppose vouchers. So he killed the program. That shows how much he cares, first black president, about black kids. What he cares about is his party, not the black kids. So we know what we have to do. We have to start changing our allegiance. Stop blindly giving our support to one party. And let's give Republicans a chance to earn our votes by cleaning up the schools. I don't think that's too much to ask.